ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today is the 22nd day in the month of Muharram 1441 after the historic hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 22nd day in the month of September 2019, the Christian era. This is going to be our 74th lesson, inshallah, in this kitab, Aqidatu AhlusSunnah wal Jama'ah of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin, rahmatullahi alayhi. We are talking about our belief as AhlusSunnah wal Jama'ah regarding Yawm al-Qiyamah and the things that are associated with Yawm al-Qiyamah. First, we discussed the belief bil Yawm al-Akhir, that the first thing is for us to believe first in the last day. Then al-Imanu bin Nar, then also the belief in the existence of hell. Then we equally discussed al-imanu bi anna al-jannata wan nara mawjudatan walan tufniya abadan, that hell, paradise and hell are both in existence and they will never cease to exist. We also discussed that وَنَشْهَدُ بِالْجَنَّةِ لكل من شهد له الكتاب والسنة بالعين أو بالوصف, that we bear testimony and we believe in the entry of paradise for any such person that Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ has given testimony for with regards to entering to Jannah, either by mentioning the name of such individual, aw bil wasfi, or through attribute, that a people that have certain attribute will go to paradise, or so and so is going to paradise. We believe in that. And that from amongst the testimony, the glad tidings of paradise that was specifically given to specific individuals, we said, Ash-Shahadatu li Abi Bakrin, the glad tidings of Jannah that was given to Abu Bakr, wa Umar, and Umar, wa Uthman, and Uthman, wa Ali, and Ali bin Abi Talib, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, that each of these individuals were mentioned categorically by name, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit them to Jannah. وَنَحْوَهُمْ مِمَّنْ أَيَّنَهُمُ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and those in their rank whom the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made mention of that they're going to paradise. We discussed the 10 people that we are given the glad tidings of Jannah. وَمِمَّنْ شَهَادَ بِالْوَصْفِ, and we said from amongst the testimony of Jannah that is given to people with certain attributes, we said this is for لِكُلِّ مُؤْمِنٍ أَوْ تَقِيٍّ, this is for every believer or every pious person. We believe that as long as you are a believer, you're going to paradise. We equally believe that as long as you're a pious individual, you're going to paradise. But we won't say Mr. Abdul Karim is going to paradise because he seems to be pious. We cannot mention him by name. We can only say that the pious people will go to Jannah. What is left for us is to strive to be from amongst the pious people. فَمِنَ الشَّهَادَةِ بِالْعَيْنِ, also we said Ukasha was mentioned by name that is going to paradise. Thabit bin Qais bin Shammas was mentioned by name that is going to Jannah. We discussed that. Radiallahu anhu ajma'in. Sa'ad bin Mu'adh radiallahu an has also was given the glad tidings of being a Jannati also. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned him and gave, an indication that he's going to paradise. And we say for every believer, because every pious person, because Allah said, وَعِدَّةِ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, so every pious person is going to Jannah, then it is left for us to strive to be from amongst the pious people. Now, our last class, we discussed the fact that you cannot just see someone doing something good, apparently, then you say he's going to paradise. It's not possible. Even if he dies upon that, you don't know. You don't know. That was what we discussed last week. Even if someone dies in sujood while praying, you cannot say he's in Jannah. It is mustahil. It is impossible for you to say that. La yajuz. Because you don't know the reality of that person. It's just what is apparent. Someone can die in sujood and will end up in hellfire. Yes, if you're trying to see that sujood is the closest you can get to Allah, then what about the value of jihad fi sabilillah? And someone dies in the battlefield and the Prophet ﷺ said he's going to hellfire. That is how serious the issue is. You can only pray and you can only be hopeful that someone makes it to Jannah, but you cannot categorically say so and so is going to paradise. Then, mamata, we said whoever dies, naam, mamata aw qutila fi sabilillahi fahuwa shahidun. Whoever dies or is killed on the path of Allah, that person is a shaheed. Do you understand? This is general, statement. هذه عامة إذن قل. Then this is, so for someone that dies on the path of Allah, you cannot categorically call him a martyr. You can only help, and you cannot use this hadith, man mata aw qutila fi sabilillahi fa huwa shaheed. What you're going to say is kullu man mata fi sabilillahi ta'ala fa huwa shaheedun. Anyone that has been killed on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a martyr. لكن لا تقول فلان شهيد. But you cannot mention that, so a person that died in the battlefield is a shaheed, is a martyr, unless it has been proven. And the Prophet ﷺ that will prove that is no longer alive, isn't it? The Prophet ﷺ, was the one that confirmed the martyrdom of the people that were killed in the battle of Badr and the people that were killed in the battle of Uhud. The 70 martyrs of Uhud, the Prophet ﷺ confirmed that, isn't it? Now, that is the Prophet ﷺ confirming. Likewise, the Prophet ﷺ dispelled the notion that was in the minds of the Sahaba that an individual that fought alongside with them in the battlefield, that is going to paradise. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, he's going to hellfire. So it is the Prophet ﷺ, because وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ, because he receives revelation, so the Prophet ﷺ can conveniently confirm to the believers that this person is a martyr, and he can equally confirm to them that this person is not a martyr. And as long as the Prophet ﷺ is not longer with us, and none of us is, privy to any revelation, then we can only say that generally, whoever dies on the path of Allah is a martyr. It's a general statement. It's like whoever believes in Allah and the Messenger is a mu'min. But the reality of you attaining that status remains with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alaysa kadhalik. So you cannot confirm, you can only say, kullu man mata fi sabilillahi, anyone that dies on the path of Allah, fahuwa shahidun, is a martyr. You cannot say fulanu shahid. لأنه قد يكون في قلبه أنه يدافع. You don't know what is in his heart. You don't know the reality of what is in his heart. Only Allah knows that. Even the angels do not record what is in the hearts of men. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the reality of what men kept in their bosoms. Today, inshallah, we're going to discuss something similar to what we discussed with regards to Jannah. However, this is for Jahannam. The similarity here is just as you will not call so person that is going to that is a Jannati, you can equally not point at someone that is going to hellfire unless that was done by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you can only use, a general description of the people of hellfire, or those that were mentioned categorically by name. You can only latch onto those that have been mentioned priority by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was still alive and receiving revelation. وَنَشْهَدُ بِالنَّارِ لِكُلِّ مَنْ شَهِدَ لَهُ الْكِتَابُ وَالسُّنَّةِ بِالْعَيْنِ. That is in your kitab. أَلَيْسَ كَذَلِكَ? Okay, you're not with your books today. We all came back from the same journey. وَنَشْهَدُ بِالنَّارِ. We bear testimony and we believe in the fact that those that have been mentioned by name that are going to hellfire, we believe that they're going to hellfire. And will not believe anything other than that. They've been mentioned by name by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they're going to hellfire. We believe that they're going to hellfire. The Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned certain people by name that they're going to Jahannam. Aw bil wasfi. Likewise, the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have categorically mentioned certain individuals, or descriptively have given us a description of the people of Jahannam. So we can work with the description. We can equally work with what? With the mentioning of individuals that was done by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam or through the revelation of the Quran. بأنه نعم بالعين أو بالوصف فمن الشهادة بالعين. Remember we say فمن الشهادة بالعين of Jannah لأبي بكر. Now of Jahannam, how unfortunate is this individual that Allah mentioned Abu Bakr by name, that the Prophet ﷺ should tell Abu Bakr that he's going to Jannah, that he should tell Umar, Uthman, Ali that they are all going to Jannah, and likewise these people have received the information that they're going to hellfire. Just as Abu Bakr was alive having the glad tidings of being a Jannati, so also some people were alive and they were given the information that they're going to hellfire because of their attitude. What differentiated between the two was the fact that one believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and was truthful in his belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while the other disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and wasn't truthful with what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them to. وَمِنَ الشَّهَادَةِ بِالْعَيْنِ. And from amongst the shahada, the testimony that was given specifically to someone, to an individual with regards to him going to hellfire, li Abi Lahabin. Abu Lahab was informed that he was going to hellfire. There was nothing he could do about it. There was nothing he could do about it. Just like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, there is nothing that is going to harm Uthman ma ba'd al-yawm. After today, when Uthman, actually fed on the path of Allah and equipped the army of Tabuk. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw what Uthman did with his wealth, and he said, nothing will harm Uthman after today, which means Uthman will go to Jannah whatever he does afterwards. However, he only did that which qualified him more to be from amongst the people of Jannah. Unlike maybe some people will be relaxed, but you should know, whoever has been mentioned categorically that is going to Jannah, you should know that that person will only and always work towards Jannah. That's the fact. So Abu Lahab, we believe in that. بِأَنَّهُ مِنْ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. That is from amongst the people of hellfire. So today we can say Abu Lahab is going to hellfire. قال الله تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said regarding Abu Lahab, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبَّ. Perished at the hands of Abu Lahab. Perished is he. Then Allah said, Ma aghna anhu maluhu wa ma kasab. Neither his wealth nor his children will be of any help to him. They will not stand for him against the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ma kasab. Ma kasab here means his children. Alaysa kadhalik. Ma kasab here means his children. Sayasla naran dhata lahabin. Sayasla naran dhata lahabin. Now, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has categorically told us that Abu Lahab is going to hellfire. So we believe, just as we believe that Abu Bakr is going to Jannah, likewise we believe that Abu Lahab is going to hellfire. وَامْرَأَتُهُ, his wife also, حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ في جيدها حبل من مسد. يعني في عنقها. That is the meaning of في جيدها. في عنقها. Chain, palm rope hung around her neck. It was said that it equally means a punishment, the chain passing through her mouth, coming out through her backside as a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who was the wife of Abu Lahab? Jamil. Beautiful name indeed, isn't it? Jamil, the wife of Abu Lahab. Bint Umayyah, Bint Harb, bin Umayyah, Ukht. She's the sister of Abu Sufyan. She is the sister of Abu Sufyan that later on embraced Islam from amongst the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, who was then the king of Mecca. So the wife of Abu Lahab that was mentioned here, Jamil, she is the sister of Abu Sufyan. So we believe categorically that Abu Lahab is going to hellfire because he has been mentioned categorically in the Quran. وكذلك أيضا كذلك أيضا عمرو بن لوحي الخزاعي is going to hellfire. Is going to hellfire. Who was this individual? Amru bin Luhayy al-Khuza'i. Who was this individual? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, رأيت عمرو بن عامر بن لوحي الخزاعي يجر قصبه في النار وكان أول من سيب السوائب. The hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, رأيت عمرو بن عامر بن لوحي الخزاعي. I saw Amru bin Amir bin Luhayy. I saw him doing what? يجر قصبه في النار. Dragging his what? قصبة يعني أمعاء. His intestines. Dragging them in hellfire, which means it's in hellfire. So the Prophet mentioned his name categorically. Who was this person? He was the first person to change the Arabian people from the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Idol worship, he was the one that initiated. The people were upon the religion of Abraham. Amr bin Amir al-Luhi al-Khuza'i. The Arabian people, they were upon the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He changed the religion of Ibrahim. He changed it. Shi ya fara kawo canji to bring shirk into it. So because of that, he is the initiator. And the Prophet ﷺ said, by virtue of that, I saw him dragging his intestines in Jahannam. In Jahannam. So Abu Lahab has been mentioned categorically to be from amongst the people of Jahannam. Amr bin Amir al-Luhayy al-Khuza'i has been mentioned categorically in the hadith of Bukhari that is going to hellfire. So we believe that these people are going to hellfire and they have been punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the wrong that they did. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. وكذلك كل من شهد له الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام عينا بالنار. Any individual that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has testified that is going to hellfire, we believe in that. Who can give us another example from amongst the people? You know, after the battle of Badr, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood on the death amongst the kuffar, and he mentioned them by their names. And the companions were, Ya Rasulullah, they can't hear you. He said, they know the reality of what I'm saying. Because the Prophet ﷺ was saying, have you met the reality of what I was calling you into, of what was discussed? Have you met the reality of the message that the Prophet ﷺ came with? Kama qal, you know, fi ma'na al-kalam. And the companions were like, they're dead people. The Prophet ﷺ said, they hear. They have met the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, you know, Umayyah bin Khalaf, the slave master of Bilal bin Rabah. So we believe. فَإِنَّنَا نَشْهَدْ بِذَلِكَ. We bear testimony. We believe in that. أَمَّا الْوَصْفِ. As for descriptive features of the people of hellfire, وَمِنَ الشَّهَادَةِ بِالْوَصْفِ. From amongst the evidences or the testimony given descriptively for the people of Jahannam, الشَّهَادَةُ لِكُلِّ كَافِرٍ. This is the testimony that has preceded for every kafir. Every non-Muslim is going to hellfire. Every non-Muslim is going to hellfire. Just as we said, biwasfin, every Muslim, bilwasfi, that every mu'min, aw taqiyin, every pious person is going to Jannah. Every believer is going to Jannah. But we cannot say Fahad is going to Jannah. Isn't it? We cannot mention his name by name, that because apparently he's a believer and we say he's going to Jannah. Even if he dies upon that, we can only be hopeful that he makes it to Jannah. For every non-believer, لكل كافر أو مشرك شركا أكبر ومنافق. Every kafir, unbeliever, that does not believe in the message of the Prophet ﷺ is going to hellfire. Every mushrik, polytheist, that is guilty of committing major shirk is going to hellfire. Every munafiq, النفاق الاعتقادي, the hypocrisy of creed, that you believe but you don't believe. That type of hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of the likes of Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, Ra'isul Munafiqin, the leader of the hypocrites. That type of nifaq, hypocrisy, lands the hypocrite into Jahannam. Inna al-munafiqina fi darki al-asfal min al-nar. Verily, the munafiqs, the hypocrites, will be in the lowest level of Jahannam. So we believe in that. But no name has been mentioned, isn't it? So you can't say that person that died yesterday is a munafiq, or he was seen as a hypocrite amongst the people, so automatically you say, he's already in hellfire. You can't do that. You can't do that. And listen. Naqul, we're going to say, kullu kafirin finnar. Kullu kafirin finnar. Every disbeliever is in hellfire. Every disbeliever will go to hellfire. Kullu kafirin finnar. Just as we said, kullu mu'minin aw taqiyin fil jannah. This is ash-shahadatu bil wasfi. Because Allah says regarding the believers, regarding the pious people, وَعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, Jannah has been prepared for them. Regarding the kuffar, the Jahannam, Allah said, u'iddat lil kafirin. So since it has been prepared for the disbelievers, we believe that kullu kafirin finnar wa kullu mushrikin shirkan akbar finnar. Every mushrik, polytheist, that is guilty of committing major shirk is going to hellfire. Now we said major shirk because we have minor shirk. Like some scholars will say, Riya is a minor shirk, isn't it? It might not necessarily land you into hellfire, but it renders your deed null and void. Riya might not necessarily lead you to Jahannam, but it renders your deed null and void. Because Riya is a minor shirk. And some scholars will even say all major sins qualify to be minor shirk. Do you understand that? Hence, we do not say with regards to the people that are guilty of minor shirk, like Riya, for example, that they are going to hellfire. We say the people that are guilty of committing major shirk, they're going to hellfire. So the Khawarij will say if you commit a major sin, you're going to hell. Or you're a kafir. You've left the fold of Islam. This is not true. وَكُلُّ مُنَافِقٍ فِي النَّارِ. Every hypocrite. This is bilwasfi, isn't it? This is attribute. This is descriptive. You are not mentioning any individual by name, aside those individuals that were mentioned categorically by the Prophet ﷺ. But you cannot do that today. You cannot confirm hypocrisy on anyone today. You can only say he has the attributes of a hypocrite, but you cannot call him a hypocrite, because it then means that you are actually, trying to say that you know what is in the hearts of men. Because hypocrisy of i'tiqadi, of creed, is deeply rooted in the hearts of men that are guilty of such sin. Which means he comes to you as a believer, you only relate with him using the apparent reality of his interactions with you. But deep inside, you don't know what is kept inside of him, of hypocrisy. Now, هذا عموم نشهد به. This is general testimony with regards to people that has these features: a kafir, a mushrik, shirk al-akbar, a munafiq, al-nifaq al-i'tiqadi. الآن يوجد رؤساء كفر يموتون مثل رئيس اليهود الذي قتل والذي مات فهل نشهد بأنه في النار. Listen to this interesting question. Sheikh says, الآن, you will see that now you will find that the leaders of kuffar, a disbeliever, the leaders from amongst the leaders of disbelievers, for example, the leader of the Jews, if he dies or is killed, فَهَلْ نَشْهَدْ لَهُ فِي النَّارِ بِأَنَّهُ فِي النَّارِ. Can we say categorically that he's in hellfire? Can we now say, for example, that because Michael Jackson died as a non-Muslim, can we now say now Michael Jackson is inside hellfire? That is the question. Can we say Mandela, right now Mandela is in hellfire? That is the question. Can we say Ariel Sharon is in hellfire? That is the question. Listen to the answer. أنا أرى الاقتياد وبراءة الذمة بأن لا نشهد. لا نشهد. We can only say all kuffar, every kafir, but we cannot say Ariel Sharon is in hellfire now. Because if you say that, you're telling us that you have information regarding the hereafter. You're telling us you have information regarding the ghaib that Allah has kept for himself. But you can only say that individual for whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared friendship with. That is Khalilullah, the friend of Allah, a bosom friend of Allah, an intimate friend of Allah, Ibrahim alayhi salam. Yet, he couldn't guide whom Allah has not guided. He tried to bring his father onto the path of Tawheed. He couldn't. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. Just like the Prophet ﷺ couldn't guide Abu Talib to the path of Tawheed. The same way. So, for those, the Prophet categorically said they are in hell, isn't it? وَلَكِنْ لَيْسَتْ كَشَهَادَتُنَا لِكَافِرٍ. This is not like our testimony to a kafir that has pronounced is kufr, come out as a kafir, isn't it? Died upon his kufr. So this person died a kafir. There is no any evidence. So what is apparent is that he died as a kafir, and every kafir is going to hellfire. There is nothing, and that is why you can't bury him in the graveyard of the believers, because he's treated as a non-believer. And the fate of the non-believers is punishment, hellfire, isn't it? I don't know if you understand these two statements. لكنه ما مات على الكفر فهذا ربما يهتدي فيما بعده أما إنسان مات على الكفر. So the long and short of it is that it will not benefit you. He said, Shahad fa inna shahadatuka, your testimony, lahu bin nar, that is going to hellfire. Me saying Ariel Sharon is in hellfire, is going to hellfire. In kana laysa min aliha, if it's not from amongst the people of hellfire, lan tu'thar, it will not have any impact. Wa in kana min ahliha, if he happens to be from amongst the people of hellfire, فَلَا حَاجَ لِشَهَادَتُكَ, there is no any need for your testimony. I don't know if you understand. A kafir that you cannot mention by name that is already in hellfire because you don't know the reality at the end of the day. Some people actually hid their Islam because they cannot come out to profess that. But maybe at the time of their death, they died maybe while sleeping. But maybe they had professed Islam before they slept and they didn't want to tell anyone. They were hiding it. And Allah took his soul. Isn't it? And if perhaps he did die as a non-Muslim, then you saying that he's going to hellfire will actually not benefit anyone. Nobody is waiting for that from you. And if you say he's going and he's not going, then what is the purpose of doing that? So the best way is to go back to the umum, aside those that have been mentioned by name. Just say, kullu kafirin. Every kafir, every mushrik, every munafiq will go to hellfire. It's left for the munafiq with his hypocrisy. It's left for the kafir with his kufr. It's left for the mushrik with his shirk. Just as we said, every believer is going to hell, is going to paradise. It's left for us to strive to be from amongst these believers. We know the qualities of the believers. We know the attributes and the characteristics of the disbelievers. So you go towards this and run away from that. I hope I make sense. Yeah. Sheikh said, لهذا نرى الشهادة بالنار لكافر على قيد الحياة لا تجوز. That is going to hellfire after his death just by the way he lived his life as a kafir, and you don't know the reality of him before he died. لإحتمال أن يسلم وكم من كافر أسلم. He said because of the probability that he might have embraced Islam. So, someone I saw just some, in the last hour, I saw on Twitter that someone said he has been a Muslim for the past 5 years. And his parents didn't know. So do you think that if such a person had died in his parents' house, and if his parents and the environment he lives in, nobody knows, he's going to be buried as a non-Muslim? So if you go by this, and you say, and you heard that he's dead, say, Kai, this guy, kafir, is in hellfire. But the reality is that he has been a Muslim for the past 5 years. And he doesn't need you to legitimize his Islam. As long as Allah knows the condition he's in. Maybe he's in a very terrible situation that he will risk his life proclaiming that he's a Muslim. So as long as Allah is aware of what is in his heart, that is enough. Your testimony, you knowing that he's a Muslim, will benefit him not. And if perhaps he dies in the land of Kufr and they buried him as the non-Muslim is being buried, it's still not going to affect his Iman. Just as when the munafiq is buried amongst the Muslims, it's not going to uplift his standard. Am I making sense? أما إذا مات على الكفر ولم نعلم أنه قال يوما من الدهر لا إله إلا الله قال يوما من الدهر لا إله إلا الله فهذا أيضا لا نشهد له بالنار احتياطا ومعلوم أنه الحكم الاحتياطي ليس كالحكم المجزوم به. He said even today if we've never seen him saying La ilaha illallah, he lived this life. He said, even by that, if he's dead, we will not say he's in hellfire. We will not pronounce him to be in hellfire. We can only come back to the default that every non-Muslim is going to hellfire. من الإيمان باليوم الآخر من الإيمان باليوم الآخر الإيمان بفتنة القبر. From amongst the Iman with the last day is the Iman with the punishment, the fitna, the trials of the grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us from the trials of the grave. قوله, Sheikh says, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِفِتْنَةِ الْقَبْرِ. We equally believe, as AhlusSunnah wal Jama'ah, we believe in the trials of the grave. وَهِيَ سُؤَالُ الْمَيِّتِ. And this is the questioning of the dead. You're going to be questioned, I'm going to be questioned. فِي قَبْرِهِ, in his grave. And رَبِّهِ, regarding his Lord. وَدِينِهِ, regarding his religion. وَنَبِيهِ, regarding his prophet. Each one of us is going to be asked this question. This is fitna. It's the last of the fitna that the believer is going to face. The fitna of the questioning in the grave. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ويذل الله الظالمين ويفعل الله ما يشاء. Allah said, يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت. Allah, affirms for the believers that believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the firm statement fil hayat dunya, in the life of this world, wa fil akhirah, and equally in the hereafter. Which means al-qawlu thabit huna la ilaha illallah tawheed. Those that live their lives under the shade of tawheed and the worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those that actually believed in Allah and they lead a life of muwahiduna, of those that believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and their everything was guided by tawheed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for them to answer that question. When they are asked, it will be easy for them. فَيَقُولُ الْمُؤْمِنُ, the believer will say, Rabbi Allah, because Allah has affirmed, Allah has established the statement for him. Allah has made it firm upon him. So he's able to say it because he led a life of tawheed. He led a life of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, adhering to the teachings of the Sharia. Hence, it's going to answer by saying, Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when he's asked regarding his religion, he's going to say, Wadini al-Islam, my religion is Islam, because he actually lived and practiced his life in accordance with the dictates of Islam. Al-istislamu lillahi bit-tawheed, wal-inqiyadu lahu bit-ta'a, wal-bara'atu min ash-shirki wa ahlihi. This was his life as a believer. And if he's asked regarding the prophet, he's going to say, وَنَبِيهِ Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My prophet is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because he actually followed the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He followed the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so it's going to be easy for him to answer that question with regards to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَأَمَّا الْكَافِرُ, as for the disbeliever, وَالْمُنَافِقُ, and the hypocrite, فَيَقُولُ, they're going to say, لَا أَدْرِي, I don't know. لا أدري, I don't know. سمعت الناس يقولون شيئا فقلته. I heard people saying Islam is my religion, so I followed them by saying that Islam is my religion. I heard people saying I'm a Muslim, so I said I'm a Muslim, but you didn't practice the religion of Islam. You heard about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you never followed him. The kuffar, there is no single kafir in Nigeria today that has access to media that does not know about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That lives in a community where there is a Muslim that does not know about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you say, I had people saying about the Prophet, but he never cared to accept. وَنُؤْمِنُ بِفِتْنَةِ الْقَبْرِ وَهِيَ سُؤَالُ الْمَيِّتِ فِي قَبْرِهِ عَنْ رَبِّهِ وَدِينِهِ وَنَبِيهِ نُؤْمِن بِهَا حَقًّا. We believe in it. In reality, truthfully so, we believe that people are going to be tested and tried in the grave. لِأَنَّ الْقُرْآنَ أَشَارَ إِلَيْهَا, because Quran has pointed that there's going to be this fitna. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam bayyanaha bayanan wadihan, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam has explained it with a clear explanation. Wa fitnatul qabr, and the fitna of qabr, ay yas'al al-insan man rabbuk, that a man will be asked, who is his Lord? Ma dinuk, what is your religion? Man nabiyuk, who is your prophet? Thalatha masail, 3 questions. وعليها, and upon these three questions, now بنى شيخ الإسلام محمد بن عبد الوهاب رسالته المباركة. He built, he based his treatise upon these three questioning, and that is Al-Usul Thalatha, the kitab that we do today after Maghrib. Al-Usul Thalatha. It is based on these three questionings. قوله يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة نسأل الله أن يجعلنا وإياكم منهم. We ask Allah that He makes me and you from amongst the people that Allah will make it easy for to answer this questioning in the grave. May Allah make it easy for us. بالقول الثابت وهو قول الحق وهو قول الحق, and that is the statement of truth, and there is nothing truer than La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Naam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us. You're tired, go? How many minutes have we done? Okay, so that we can leave the next. We've done 1 hour, 51. All right. Naam. Afasihirun hadha. Naam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was preaching to the kuffar, we were talking about Jahannam, when they will face the reality of Jahannam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us regarding, the kuffar. Naam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says regarding the kuffar, يوم يدعون إلى النار جهنم داعا. The day يوم يدعون إلى نار جهنم داعا. The day when they will be pushed down by force to the fire of hell with a horrible, forceful pushing. هذه النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون. This is the fire which you used to belie. أفسحر هذا أم أنتم لا تبصرون. Is this magic or do you not see? Because in this world, they call the Prophet ﷺ a magician. Now when they are exposed to the reality of Jahannam, Allah will say, أَفَسِحِرٌ هَذَا أَمْ أَنْتُمْ لَا تُبُصِرُونَ. Is this magic or do you not see? You were claiming, you were accusing the Prophet of being a magician. Now this is the reality. Now that you have seen the hellfire, أَفَسِحِرٌ هَذَا أَمْ أَنْتُمْ لَا تُؤْمِنُونَ لَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Is this magic or do you not see? And we should know, Allah says, لا يستوي أصحاب النار أصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. Not equal are the companions of hell and the companions of paradise. For verily, it is the companions of paradise that will attain felicity. So you don't compare the two. Those that are going to Jannah, the muwahiduna, those that single out Allah in ibadah, that are going to Jannah, and those that disbelieved in Allah and worship other than Allah, they are not on equal footing. They are not the same. Allah says the latter, the believers, are the ones that are going to attain felicity. May Allah makes us amongst them. Inshallah, we're going to stop here, and next week, God willing, inshallah, we will continue from where we stopped. Whatever we have said that is consistent with the truth, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us abundantly. Wherever we've made mistakes, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our lives, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with us and grant us ikhlas. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.